questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Poole, can you tell me why are millions of dollars being transferred out of OIT to plus up other parts of the department when there are nearly 20 unaddressed, unfunded priorities on the one to end list?
Thank you, Congresswoman. I can't really speak much about what's driving transfers. I can speak about what we're investing in OIT in. I'll turn it over to Dr. Puetz. Maybe he can provide some more insight for you on that.
There's two specific things that we need to address to your question. The first is that there is OIT, but we're driving the larger department and for the needs for veterans across the entire department. So at the end of the day, we may have a one-to-end list, but VA also has a one-to-end list. And sometimes the other administrations and staff offices may have a priority above IT. And that is a decision that sits with the secretary. The second aspect of that is you asked about the one-to-end list that exists within OIT. It's important to remember that when we submit that one-to-end list as part of our congressional justification, that is a point in time. And since that time when that is submitted, we almost immediately start funding into and against that list. So that list that you've seen, we've been able to start to drive down our one-to-end list. We look at this monthly with our end-of-month close, and where we are able to identify savings, we're able to reinvest in real time. So we don't wait for the end of the year to come and then pay down our one-to-end list. It's happening in real time. So again, with budgets, it's point in time, and good organizations aren't just planning for the future, they're moving in real time to create it.
So a follow-up question to that, because I did take time to look at the one-to-end list, and like the top 5, issues. One was cybersecurity and incident report. The second was data privacy and security. The third was governance, risk, and compliance. You go to 5th, it's threat and vulnerability management. These are all at the very top of the one-to-end list. And those sound very serious to me. So what you're saying is that those have been resolved?
So in the opening testimony from Mr. Poole, you've seen that when we were here last year about this time, we said that we are carrying some risk within our cybersecurity and IRP, and that we will fund against that to really buy down that risk.
So that's exactly my question, though.
And that's
Excuse
exactly,
me. So that's my question, though, is you've transferred money away. My understanding, though, is that if those millions of dollars, the fiscal year 2026 budget requests $434.2 million decrease from fiscal year 2025, that difference alone, from what we understand, would basically solve 70% of what's on that one-to-end list.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. I can also say that we have invested over $100 million in our IRP, and I just signed off documentation to put a major investment within our ZTA just in the last few days. So the funding is being redirected to these key priorities, and we're spending down against that risk.
Okay. Mr. Poole, your testimony highlights a reinvestment of nearly $200 million from contract cancellations. Can you provide the committee a full list of contracts canceled within OIT and where this money is being reinvested?
Thank you, Congressman. Yes, we can take that back for the record and provide a list as requested. I would like to just add on the last question. Just for clarity, our one-to-end list are a capturing of requirements, whether they be valid requirements or things that we'd like to do. These are outside of our base budget normally. These are things that we know are unfunded largely, that we will be able to fund as funding becomes available, for various reasons. This is how we prioritize those lists. So the ones that you mentioned on top, those are largely ones that you can normally assume will be funded. It's when you get further down the list, it's just a racking and stacking to make sure that we capture those requirements, and then we can invest in those as we're able to do throughout the fiscal year.
So just to clarify, so you're saying that with the $434 million that's being cut from OIT's budget in fiscal year 2026, you're still going to be able to resolve all of that on the one-to-end list?
Congressman, like I mentioned previously with the standardization approach to how we're approaching things, again, the reference to where we may have 20, 30 different similar capabilities in the environment today, consolidating down to one enterprise platform, again, the opportunity from a fiscal perspective is pretty substantial. So yes, I do believe with the funding that we have, we will be able to meet the majority of our needs.
Okay. I have a question about DOGE. Was DOGE or any of its representatives involved in the contracts that were canceled?
So we don't have DOGE employees at VA, and I do understand that there is, being sensitive to ongoing litigation that I'm aware is underway. We'll have to refer you to our Office of General Counsel for a follow-up on that.
Okay, I'm over time. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We're going to move to closing statements. So I want to recognize you for your closing statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again to the witnesses for being here. I hope that both VA and OIT leadership have heard the concerns that I've raised today. I'm not one for maintaining the status quo nor throwing money at issues needlessly. I am not one for maintaining the status quo, and again, I do believe in mission-driven work, so I appreciated those comments. Improvements to VA's organizational structure, processes, and strategies and operational workload can and should occur. However, as the ranking member of the subcommittee on jurisdiction of this jurisdiction, I believe that this change must happen methodically and must be driven by data. VA's IT foundation will not continue to support the department's mission otherwise. Unfortunately, I have not heard today anything that really reassures me here. VA's answers have not indicated that the reorganization, staffing, or budgetary decisions were reached using data or evidence-based strategic thinking. I'm concerned that this was rushed to be finalized before a new permanent CIO could be confirmed. I would hope that the department would delay implementing such drastic changes until a CIO can be appropriately named, vetted, and confirmed. Mr. Poole, I hope that we and your team can continue our dialogue here and ensure that OIT can find the right balance in terms of structure and staffing. The work your employees perform undergirds much of the work VA performs, and I want that talent to be recognized, appreciated, and cultivated. I hope you and whoever is confirmed as the next CIO share that same desire. Thank you, and I yield back.
Thank you, Ranking Member Budzinski, and thank you to our panelists for being here.